Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, WWE's fears over Roman Reigns and Jey Uso.
A major update on Drew McIntyre's WWE contract status.
The latest on Charlotte Flair's creative.
And an AEW star has officially exited the company. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
This is the news.
Let's talk about trepidation, which is another word for fear, and Money in the Bank.
Yes.
WrestleVotes came through with a bit of a report yesterday on their Twitter account, the Insider account. They've been doing this for years. You know the score. You know what they do. But obviously at Money in the Bank, Roman Reigns was pinned by Jey Uso. It was the first time the Roman had been pinned in like 1,300 days almost. If you'd like to know more about that and my theories on it and why they did this, check out the video from yesterday I did. It's on the channel right now.
Ooh.
You might enjoy that. It's got one of them Real Reason titles.
Hey-o.
It's a good time. But WrestleVotes have been talking about this. Obviously, this was quite a big talking point because Roman doesn't get pinned.
Nope.
That's kind of how you build stars, so it's good in a lot of ways. And then Jey pinned him. It's probably going to set up SummerSlam. WrestleVotes noted there was a lot of trepidation on creative about this move, and that some people felt that Roman shouldn't be pinned until he loses the title. So I'll read the tweet to you. There was a feeling of trepidation from a high-ranking creative member in crafting the finish for this past Saturday's Bloodline match. A strong argument that Reigns shouldn't be pinned prior to losing the title was presented throughout the process. I understand the trepidation completely, understand the fear. Reigns hadn't been pinned since December 2019, I think it was, so it was a big, bold move, and I do see the argument. However, I do think it was the optimal outcome for this match. I think it was the best possible result. I think that Roman showing weakness, not only does it set up the title match, but Roman showing a bit of weakness, showing a bit of humanity as his empire starts to crumble is a good thing, and it makes him a more three-dimensional character. On top of that, this character has always been a gaslighting, insecure little weasel that hides behind this bluster and this tribal chief image. Behind all of that, he is a tiny little man, and stuff like that kind of brings that to the forefront. So I think it's great.
Yeah, I can understand the worries around it because obviously, like you say, it's a big thing to sacrifice on the road to SummerSlam. But at the end of the day, you know, Spielberg, Cameron, Peele, they all are Oscar-winning directors who took risks. And if you're going to win Oscars, which this should because it's cinema, you have to take these risks. No, what I mean is, you're right in terms of, like, it undermines him. Even there was a bit in the match where even Solo Sikoa was like, come on, you're the tribal chief, what are you doing?
Pick it up, big dog.
And yeah, in terms of re-establishing the main event, Jey Uso, for effectively your second biggest show of the year to challenge Roman Reigns, I know there's the familial connection, but if you'd have told me, you know, 3 years ago, or maybe, let's say 3 years ago, Jey Uso is going to be fighting in the main event and potentially dethroning Roman Reigns after all this time, I think you need something to sell you on that, and I think this helps. And I'm very, very, very excited for, what is it called? The Trial of Roman Reigns on SmackDown this week.
Yeah, like the full title was like Tribal Court.
That's it.
The Trial of the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. I was like, oh my god. But
It's like they're trying to cram SEO in there, aren't they?
Yeah, 70 keywords.
Put WWE in there just in case if people are searching that.
But these segments always kick ass, is the other side of it. So hey, but yeah, let us know what you think of the finish down below. Obviously, there's been much discussion on it already, but did you agree with it? Would you rather have Roman not got pinned? And if so, how would you set up the Jey Uso match? Let us know.
Now, that, of course, wasn't the only big thing that happened at Money in the Bank. We saw the return of Drew McIntyre, and there'd been a load of speculation over the past weeks, months, basically since we saw him at WrestleMania as to what his future was going to be. Some people then assumed because he was at Money in the Bank and he's been set up for a Gunther match, presumably at SummerSlam for the IC title, that, I guess that's all been resolved now. Nope. Mike Johnson of PW Insider has reported that he has not re-signed, or hasn't signed a new contract, I should say, with WWE. Johnson also reported that they'd always wanted him to return at Money in the Bank, but Drew was like, I'll do it, but I need something to get my teeth into.
Some steak.
Gunther is obviously that.
He is beef.
McIntyre, in case you haven't heard, his contract is, according to sources, set to expire in early 2024. Potentially time added on, who knows, always injuries, the usual caveats here. And Fightful Select corroborated this with McIntyre's desire for a strong creative, although he has stayed in contact with Papa H throughout his time off screen.
Yeah, wise of him to stay in contact with a future Emmy Award winner, of course. Cinema. Yeah, it's kind of following up. There was a report immediately after the pay-per-view. Sorry, at the Premium Live event.
Yes.
There was to similar effect, but I think it's interesting to keep people informed on how this is developing because he's back. And yes, a lot of people when he came back would have been like, he must have re-signed.
Yes.
And then I think Papa H in the press conference was like, I want Drew here forever. Of course he wants Drew here forever.
Look at him.
Drew is awesome. I would want him here forever as well if he worked here. Let's hire him, actually. That's a good idea. I don't know what we'd have him do, but we can get him in. Yeah, I love Drew.
Get him on Trek Culture. Sean and Ellie. All right, Drew.
Maybe he's a huge Trekkie. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you could get him on the comics channel. Who knows?
Luke, I am your dad.
Listen, Luke.
We're joking.
Cheesy peeps.
God, I've had enough of people going after me on the internet already this week.
Don't disrespect Battlestar Galactica like that, brother. Drew kicks ass. I hope he is happy. I hope he just gets paid and lands somewhere that's going to make him happy. That's the long and short of it. I don't care if it's WWE. I don't care if it's AEW. I don't care if it's New Japan. I don't care if it's anywhere.
Just keep wrestling.
Just keep wrestling and being awesome, and I'll enjoy it and I'll watch it. And you know what will happen if you enjoy things and you watch things, you'll click that subscribe button.
Oh, and guess what? Ring the bell.
Yeah. Ding Dong Dash. Remember that when you were a kid?
Oh, we called it.
Chap.
What's that? What you called it? Ding Dong Dash.
Two names: Ding Dong Dash and Chappie.
We had. It was just called Knock a Door Run because clearly where I'm from, everyone's so thick they need the rules of the game explained in the name of the game.
Well, I did grow up under a superior education system to you English savages,
Indeed.
I guess. So
although my superior education did also educate me to bring you the game to the masses, door or no door.
So well, it all comes back. It all ties in together. By the way, if you're a child or an adult, don't knock on people's doorbells and run away.
No,
please,
just egg their house instead.
Oh God!
Don't do that. Eggs are expensive now, aren't they?
They are, man. You know what's really expensive these days?
What's that?
Prawns. Absolutely mental prices. Let's not get into it. Let's roll on.
Speaking of prawns, what's the first story?
Oh yeah, it's my story. Whoops. Chaz Flair.
Yes.
Chaz
the wrestling
Flair.
prawn, as I like to call her.
She is known as the Shrimp. What are we doing? Queen prawn. Not
Queen
king,
prawn.
Not king prawn.
All hail the prawn.
Shouts to King Prawn, by the way. UK ska represent. Right. Charlotte Flair, creative direction, bit of an update here from Fightful. There was rumours going into Money in the Bank that she was going to replace Zelina Vega.
Jesus Christ.
In the women's match.
Please no.
Which I've been out of the bubble, so I didn't actually pick up on these rumours.
We had some mentions in our stream, and I thought it was just people taking the piss, and then I looked into it and was like, no.
Yeah.
Let's put Zelina, and then she had that great spot with Zoe Stark. More than deserved. Well done, Zelina.
So WWE sources have not heard of this plan. It sounds like it was bollocks. Obviously, it didn't end up happening. But it's noted that Flair's creative, her current creative, had actually been planned for a while. Mm-hmm. In fact, before she came back in June, WWE were planning on having her in her current feud, so she wasn't going to be in Money in the Bank. Don't worry about that, it's totally fine. It's already happened anyway. Her current position in the women's title feud with Bianca Belair and Asuka is designed to bring Asuka back up, to re-establish her by having her work with two top-level challengers for that belt. WWE is hoping to add more intrigue and suspense to Asuka's character and presence, I guess, by having Chaz and Bianca. Why do I keep calling her Chaz? It's just a cool abbreviation of Charlotte.
She should be called Chaz.
Yeah, Chaz. Bring back Mosh and Thrasher. She could because Chaz was one of them.
Yes.
So who would be her partner? Gilbert, why not? WWE's yet to confirm this, but it is expected we'll get the triple threat between these three wonderfully talented individuals.
Yeah.
At SummerSlam, and we'll see how that goes. The name Charlotte Flair annoys people to irrational levels, so it's nice to have reports like this that'll maybe calm the people who are really annoyed down a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, people forget very quickly. They had one of the best matches at WrestleMania this year. Her
It
and
kicked
Rhea
ass.
Ripley.
Yeah.
And I think if this was the booking direction, if they had Hoyder in there instead of Zelina Vega, it would not have helped people's opinion of her. The fact she just waltzed back in and got a title shot was bad enough. But if she'd have been like, I got screwed out of that one, and I'll probably get a rematch at SummerSlam, but I also want to be involved in Money in the Bank. No, glad that WWE have clarified that wasn't the case. But as much as people bitch and moan about all this, Yeah, triple threat between Bianca, Asuka and Charlotte is SummerSlam worthy for me.
Sounds pretty killer.
Very excited for that. A bit of an update on a star leaving AEW now. A bit of speculation about this online as well, and it was clarified by PWInsider.com that Trench's time has come to an end. Of course, he's the former baseball player with all the face tattoos. He's known as, his real name is Grandin Goatsman. Why didn't they use that?
Grandin Goatsman.
Call him the GOAT.
Yeah, call it to some black metal.
He arrived, of course, in AEW last year alongside Parker Boudreaux, helping Swerve beat up Keith Lee in one of the most infamous segments on AEW television.
Yeah.
That was the one with Rick Ross, wasn't it?
It was indeed. Accusations.
You were big. Anyway.
That was so funny.
So yeah, he was brought in as part of Mogul Enterprises.
Not to interrupt you, but Rick Ross did an interview after that where they were like, why did you call him a big mother effer on TV? And Rick Ross answered, because he's a big mother effer. Really funny.
Tell me when he's telling lies, yeah.
Rick Ross rules.
Trent never actually competed in a match in AEW, but he was training as part of Jay Lethal's wrestling school. Best of luck to him in the future.
Yeah, AEW doesn't generally just get rid of people before their contracts expire, which is a good thing, obviously. They make that agreement. They generally honour that agreement unless, certain names who have left for extenuating circumstances that we won't bring back up. So I guess he just didn't work out for whatever level. I thought he had an interesting look.
Yes.
I thought that he when he was on the TV, he felt scary.
Yes.
And not a lot of people have that presence in wrestling, so maybe he'll stick with it, maybe he won't. He obviously never wrestled, so we've no idea if he was going to be any good or not. But best of luck to him. Sure, he'll do something.
He's been removed from AEW's roster page, but Parker Boudreaux is still there, so who knows what is happening to him in the future.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at What Culture WWE. We also take them from the YouTube community page as well. First question today comes from The Whatever, who says, morning lads, if Roman no longer becomes a Paul Heyman guy, who would be the next? Suggesting Cody or Seth.
I don't think Cody or Seth would benefit too much from Paul Heyman. They can handle their own stuff. Not that Roman can't, but it'd be less of a complimentary thing having the scheming agent behind them. Solo probably. It's obviously just like a natural. It's a lazy answer because it's the current storyline, but Heyman engineering Solo to turn on Roman is quite compelling.
He's getting his head turned, isn't he? Slowly.
Yeah, and Solo's not the kind of character who gets on the microphone and talks for 10 minutes either. It would be beneficial to him to have Heyman to do some of that because he is best as the strong silent guy. So,
can I make a left field suggestion?
No.
Shayna Baszler.
Oh, okay, yeah, I dig it.
Because MMA history, I've fought with people. I've been the advocate for former
Paul
MMA
Heyman
fighters.
Was in the UFC too.
Yes, of course.
That time.
He was the one who fought with one glove, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I think Shayna, the weird turn and I'm bloody sick of you, right? Well, there was no indication of that, Shayna. I sense that was probably just because they went, oh bollocks, Ronda's contract's running out soon. Just to add a little bit of spice to it all. But I also, the way I say that, it would feel weird if he just suddenly shifted on television. You'd almost need like a 6-month gap of no Paul Heyman. He can't just keep hopping between people. I think Solo's automatically the next one. But then, hey Paul, have a bit of time to yourself, mate. Yeah. Go on a nice holiday. Go to the Maldives.
Go to the beach. Go to the beach. Go somewhere nice like Florida.
Yeah.
My favourite place. Alligators, swamps.
What's not to love?
Stifling heat. Mosquitoes. I love Florida, earnestly.
Next question today comes from TJ Mills. I meant to pick this yesterday because we got a lot of people mention this to us, but I thought we'd talk about it.
Let's go.
During the Money in the Bank press conference, did you guys hear Cody Rhodes say he probably bankrupted What Culture with his booking fees?
Well, we still have jobs 7 years later.
Yeah.
So I don't think he bankrupted us.
And I'm on the same wage as Cody Rhodes was.
Well, I'm on the same wage as Cody Rhodes is now.
Yes.
So, 8 figures.
It was wild. That was like one of the first questions, I think. And I think it was one of the first things he said. He was chatting to, I believe it was when he was asked a question by the brilliant Will Gavin of TalkSport. Shout out to you, Will. And he started talking about WCPW. Obviously, we kind of helped put that whole Money in the Bank pay-per-view together.
We invented indie wrestling as well. So
without us, there wouldn't have been a Gunther Riddle match followed by a Drew McIntyre interference because they all got taught what they got they knew in WCPW.
Exactly. British wrestling did not exist before WC. Actually, that's a legacy I don't think we want to. We want to take hold
elements of British wrestling did not exist.
The actual wrestling elements of it. Cody was on one in his media appearances,
Talking
wasn't
about
he?
shoes, Kayla's feet.
Wasn't he said about Sean Ross Sapp? He was like, my buddy, but sometimes he's not my buddy. I was like, what on earth was that? Like,
Hey, it could have been worse if you were one of the
strange.
journalists in that room. Damien Priest was shooting.
Yeah, oh gosh. Yeah.
He was cooking folks left, right, and centre.
There was the one.
What are you asking?
Yeah, he was like, "What are you talking about?"
You got no chance of me in the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
He didn't bankrupt WCW. I'm pleased to report that. I've checked. So much so that who knows? Maybe one day it'll make a comeback.
Oh, and stop promising things, man. We'll have to.
I'm not going to buy your moving ticket tonight, mate. Don't worry, I'll bring it back.
It's a decision for the big cheeses.
Yeah.
Isn't it? The big cheeses.
Yeah, we are actually employed by the Laughing Cow. That's the full reveal.
The Tango Man and the Laughing Cow came together.
Giggle of
Right,
this.
come on, move
Sorry.
on.
Final question today comes from Hannah Allen. It was in response to our story from yesterday, I do believe. Our news yesterday was goated. So go and check that out if you get a chance today. We were talking about, obviously, WrestleMania coming to the UK. The fact it's not going to happen for at least a couple of years because you've already got the one in Philly and they've got the one next year. But they also, WWE were talking about other big shows here in the UK.
What am I doing?
Your Survivor Series, your SummerSlams, your Royal Rumbles. And Hannah says, I 100% would take a Royal Rumble in the UK. What stadiums would suit? Is it only Cardiff with a closed roof, or would an arena be big enough for that kind of event? Manifesting Glasgow/Edinburgh.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, the Rumble would not be an outside show. We can confirm
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Jesus.
So
you're at the top rope. So cold.
yeah, that would be horrendous. Like in January, oh my god.
Could be funny. You could get another Titus World slide though with all the ice around.
Right, absolutely, especially if you hold it far north. Yeah, I think Manchester or Birmingham would be a popular answer, but I think
They've
Scotland.
got big arenas, haven't they?
Yeah, Scotland would be more fun. The thing about Glasgow is, right, so the natural choice would be Hampden, National Stadium, all of that. But the problem with Hampden is that it's what's the opposite of steep? It is that. The seating is like...
Oh, is it?
It's almost flat in a way. So like even if you're in like the front row, you are miles away from the action. And also there's a running track. So like it's ill suited to wrestling.
They could do the Takeshita spot from the other day though.
Yeah, they could.
The running track.
It would take forever. It'd be mental. That arena is just not suited to it at all. That means you'd have to, if you're sticking in Glasgow, you'd have to go to Ibrox, or Celtic Park, and we're not doing that.
Audrey?
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about cold, brother, that's something else. Pittodrie would be weird. Like people would die by seagulls. It'd be funny. But Edinburgh
interferes in the main event.
Edinburgh is probably a more just a better fit for an arena. Glasgow's a more lively city, but Edinburgh has Murrayfield.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your answer.
Yeah, I'm racking my brain. I mean, it would be funny to do a Royal Rumble at Craven Cottage, just for the flex.
People falling off the little pub in McIntyre stuff.
Hoy him into the old Thames.
Yeah. Oh god. No, they'd probably die of pollution. Yeah. The River Tynes.
And one thing's for sure, they will, despite WWE's sort of weird Saudi connections with Newcastle, it's not going to be happening up here anytime soon, especially not in January.
No, absolutely not. It's cold. It's cold up here.
It's cold as balls.
Cold as balls.
Not right now though.
Yeah.
So much for the winter, eh?
It's nice.
Right.
It's July.
Yeah. That's one for all of our Australian viewers.
You're a buffoon.
Right, there we go.
But you're not, so you should... Yeah.
I hope there's a video there, otherwise nothing's happened.
It's been here for about 10 seconds.
Check this video out, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
See ya.